back to Storm the Castles. This is episode 2, and yeah, here we are back at intersection 1. This is the teleporter back to the intro area. This is here to basically just be a shortcut back to the your spawn area. So in case you left some supplies here or among other things that you wanted to transport from here to intersection 1, you can easily just go back and forth. And I put one ladder in the frame because that's all you need to get up there, and that just in case you somehow didn't have a pickaxe. So yeah, this guy. Oh wow, I knocked him back with a sprint. I guess his knockback resistance isn't that great, is it, Butcher? So yeah, the villagers in the initial release, my first release of the map, had a glitched trade as the last trade that Seth Bling put in a filter in his create shops filter that basically made the game crash whenever you traded with the villager. And it also glitched out the entire chunk that the villager was in, so that if you put something anywhere in the chunk that the villager was in, it gets deleted when you leave the area or leave the game. So yeah, I fixed that by making an unusable trade of my own. Basically, you never get any of these in the map, and you probably won't get that many of this in the map. So yeah, you cannot do this trade. You have to put a unusable trade at the end of the villagers' trades to avoid the player being able to continue their trades stacking up and stuff. You can look up villager trades on the Minecraft wiki and learn how that works. I think that's how that works. I'm not entirely sure myself, but let's put my artifacts in the chest because I'm not using artifacts in this run, and this is the chest I always use to store my stuff in whenever I'm testing the map. So this chest. Let's get these potatoes planted. This is just a nice base you can quickly just have and set as your spawn. I think it's nighttime, so yes, can set my spawn and just get myself sorted out and ready to take on the next area. But first I also want to show it is a trash can, and the reason for the trash can is these guys. Oh, I guess some natural spawn creepers showed up to the party. I guess that's one easy way to mine some coal. Alright, it shouldn't have exploded the spawner. If that exploded the spawner, that would be so... Did it? Oh, please don't tell me I just blew up this spawner. I think I did, though. The creeper was right here, wasn't it? That is hilarious. I just blew out the resource spawner. It's surrounded in bedrock, so you can't mine it, but I guess it is still possible to destroy it. But that's good for me. That's fine for me because I know where I can find more of these spawners. You can basically just dig this out, and this was meant to be just a honeypot, but for some reason I decided to put in more resource skeleton spawners down here. I mean, I don't expect people to find this. It's just basically a honeypot. But you can see some bedrock over there. Whoa. And back here. So yeah, these are the guys that were supposed to spawn. And yeah, they're dinner bunnies. Someone's called them, and I guess that's pretty funny. Because dinner bunny kind of would look like that. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, they drop XP bottles, leather, carrots, bones, arrows, coal, and what else? Did I get everything? Yeah, I think they dropped something else. Oh yeah, chain helmets, I guess. But yeah, they're just kind of cute little resource mobs that you can farm for days. And they're super easy to kill, they don't do much damage. So yeah, that's just my way of giving the player a really easy mob farm already. I mean, these are infinite XP bottles right off the bat, so you don't have to worry about XP ever. You can enchant things to their fullest extent fairly easily, without having to farm anything that takes too much time. So I think I'll bone meal some of these potatoes because I desperately need food at this point. Well, I don't desperately need it, I moderately need it, which is the most you'll ever need anything in this map, because I give out everything you could possibly want, like, and more for areas, because I'm way too generous. So yeah, this is what I'm so used to doing. I do this like every time I start playing this map. Just playing a full farm of potatoes, bone meal them all. Oh, lag. Okay. And pick them all up, and then put them in the furnace right there. Gets pretty repetitive, really. But yeah, that's what you do to get food. And yeah, one thing I hate about CTM maps in general that I've played in the past is that they just limit the food. And I don't see a point in limiting food like that. I mean, sure, it's like, it adds a bit of difficulty maybe, but I just like to, as a player who's making a map, I like to have an unlimited amount of food, basically, because I don't want to spend time farming or camping zombies until I get a till I get a freaking, I don't know, potato or carrot. I just want to have my food so I can go in the areas and actually have fun. So that's my thought process behind giving out a lot of food right off the bat. Okay, one thing I forgot to put in this base is a crafting table. I don't know why I just didn't put it in. But yeah, whatever. So now, I think I'll wait for that to cook. What else should I talk about? Oh yeah, the water. So you can't get at the source of this water if you were wondering. I had the idea when I was starting to build this map to just not give out water to like Vex did in Inferno mines. That was an idea I had, but then I built the friggin' water temple. And I realized that this is stupid, so I put this in as an Easter egg. Made the water temple after this water, so I feel silly. So I kind of made unobtainable water for nothing. So that's a fun little Easter egg. If I don't think anyone's found that yet. Well, maybe someone found it, just wasn't on an LP or something. I don't really want that. Okay. So enough of these potatoes. Potatoes should be cooked by now. Oh, I haven't mentioned. I didn't mention it in the first episode, but these are present chests because I'm recording on the 26th and the 27th of December, and apparently Mojang did a little Christmas thing with their chests and stuff. So yeah, that's there for that reason. I actually don't want all this stuff because I know how generous I am with all these loots, with all the loots everywhere. I'm gonna try not to carry too much stuff on me while I head into areas. That should be good. Let me just store some of these in case I derp off a ledge and die. Alright. So heading towards the first area. This is Precarious Tower. This was the first like full-on area I built as a CTM area. And I think it came out like pretty good for a first area. Like, you can see this line in the floor, glowstone and cracked stone bricks. That's the border of the beacon ability, the beacon effects. So if you step over this line, you're going to lose the beacon effects eventually, and be susceptible to getting hurt, basically, because you get free regen inside this area. Is that a slime? Get out of here. Yeah. So yeah, and also the thing I added because of the zombie buff is a health potion spawner that kind of nerfs zombies and makes it so that if they try to break in, they're gonna die. Because zombies were really overpowered for a while, because I wasn't used to zombies and I was afraid some players might have trouble with the zombies in this first area. So yeah, I put in a zombie nerf healing potion spawner, basically. And I also put this in, which is ridiculously overpowered. It's a Smite 2 Iron Sword in the first area for free. You're welcome. I can't believe I'm doing all this for these players. So anyway, that's a spawner up there. It spawns what I would call the field troops, is what I had in mind when I made these guys. I think these were my first custom mobs. The first custom mobs I made for the map. And yeah, they're just basic enemies. There's an archer and a warrior. Well, I don't know, like a raider, I would call them. And yeah, they're here to be like the troops of the field for this castle. But yeah, before, like in the first, when I was first making this map, I did cover the spawner in bedrock just to make it so that you can't like safe it up. I don't know why I did. It was kind of just like a main thing, I don't know. But yeah, I changed it so that now there's parkour up to it, as well as it being surrounded by stone bricks instead of bedrock. So that's something I thought was a little mean at the start, so I changed. And your reward for getting up here is basically just getting rid of the spawner, which actually causes a lot of trouble if you don't get rid of soon enough. I don't know why I put this redstone torch there. It's kind of random. And you can basically just run back down without much trouble, unless you do that. Well then, okay. I mean, the axes that these zombies have has efficiency 5 on it, so it's pretty good if you wanted like a really good like stone axe to use on your trees and your base or something. But for the most part, they're just kind of useless mobs. Yeah, come on, creeper. Going up, go up. Yeah. Little ticking time bomb there. All right, so yeah, that's that spawner. It's not too threatening, really. Is that an enchanted bow? No, weak. Yeah, the skeletons, they have unbreaking 3 infinity bows on them, so it's kind of like an infinite basic bow. And I guess I just wanted the player to have that, especially for the next area. The next area is like, it almost requires you to use a bow. So I wanted to have this area supply a basically infinite bow. And yeah, this is a bit of coal in the corner there in case you needed it, which you probably would never need since the intro area is just covered in coal. I put that in before I made the intro, so that makes sense. And this is just something I made, I guess. I was a noob, so this kind of was pretty cool to me. But you can shoot a button that would cause a drawbridge, I guess you would call it, to fall. And it's pretty cool. And sometimes there's like natural spawns below it. Somehow I think I put like a empty air bubble down there, and you can hear them suffocate from the gravel. So that's kind of funny if you're ever lucky enough for like a natural spawn to be down there. And as you can see, this whole castle is pretty basic design. It's like the first castle I ever made in the CTM map. So yeah, it's pretty basic. It's not that complicated. It's simplistic design, not very aesthetic. But yeah, these were one of my first custom mobs, and not too difficult as long as you just don't let them hit you. They have slowness, but something changed to make slowness and speed just not work on mobs in Minecraft anymore. I'm like, why? I think they did it in 1.6 to change over to the new attribute system. Something changed with the speed potion effect on mobs that made it so that they don't affect them anymore. But yeah, these are covered in silverfish, so if you try to get rid of them, their silverfish are going to come after you. There's some loot over there I don't really need. Yeah, there's random loot all over everywhere, so I'm way too generous early on, so the loots in this area aren't really required at all. But yeah, the tank zombies, I like calling them. Here's another one of their spawners. The tank zombies, they drop iron helmets, chest plates, swords, and health potions too, which is really overpowered, really, at this point in the map. Come on. Okay, it didn't activate that silverfish. Okay, good. But yeah, you can farm these guys and just like have infinite iron swords again. I don't know why I'm so generous with my geared mobs. Now this is where people usually start dying. This was a bit mean, but it's basically punch bow skeletons next to a ledge. Those skeletons have punch 2 on their bows, and they can send you flying. Like punch 2 is really powerful. Especially when there's right next to a ledge like this. Like you can see this is a ledge, and you can probably die from falling off. Yeah, so this was the point where I start getting a bit more creative with my mobs. Oh, couple more spawned. They don't have much HP though, so there shouldn't be too much of an issue for a player. And you can easily just take out this spawner by either tunneling or doing this. So yeah, this spawner shouldn't be too much of an issue for people who really know what they're doing. But it can be a surprise to a lot of people, and can be extremely deadly. I can come up here and jump up here and kill these guys without too much worry. But that's only because I knew they were there. Did he die? He might not have died there. Probably watch out for him. Yeah, hold on, let me take air spawner. I think I had to put 2 in here. Yeah, 2 of these spawners. But yeah, the point of this area is basically to be a precarious tower in which skeletons will try to knock you off. That was kind of the idea I went into making the area, the castle with. I wanted to make this like a sketchy tower that you can be easily knocked off of, and then put punch bow skeletons in. Because, you know, why not? I think all the punch bow skeletons are gone, maybe? Oh yeah, and this zombie spawner can give you a bit of trouble. It is a pretty fast activating spawner, so it might be able to overwhelm people if they aren't prepared for it. There actually used to be 2. There used to be 2 of the spawner, but then when I was testing it, there's extremely, like, just ridiculous amount of tank zombies that came out. So yeah, I changed that pretty quickly. So yeah, now it's just 1 of these spawners. It's not too much of an issue, unless they take you by surprise, which would tend to happen. Because like up to this point, you get this map is like extremely forgiving and easy, and it goes back to being forgiving and easy after this point, really. So yeah, this is the top of the tower I'm getting to. Oh, get out of here. Burn. Natural spawns. And this is where the fleecy mob spawns. If you're not careful and you just like rush all the way up here, he can just knock you right off. But this guy is the white wolf fleecy mob. He's got a bow with power 2, punch 2, infinity 1, and he can be quite threatening if you aren't careful. Yes, I got his bow. The bow is really, really, really good at this point. Power 2, punch 2, infinity 1. So you don't use arrows and you get power 2. It's ridiculous. But the reason I made the drop chance for this bow like extremely high is the next area, which you'll see why in the next episode, I guess. So yeah, you get the white wolf feather falling 5, so that since it's equipped on him, he'll take less fall damage, I believe. It's not like I've tested enchanted helmets with feather falling on mobs. Oh yeah, these things. These are basic gear reset kits for when a skeleton knocks you off. Because I kind of felt bad for making that almost challenging. Like, I had no idea what I was doing when I was building this map, or this area, so I kind of was overly generous with a lot of things and forgiving and stuff, so I made basic gear reset kits, which are basically everything you need to reset your gear if you die from getting knocked off or something. Man, I got a lot of drops from these zombies. Alright, anyway. In here you get all this ridiculously much stuff. Like, I don't know why I gave out so much stuff. Is something coming? I heard a few zombies, so there might be a few tank zombies left, but there's actually 4 of these chests, which is absolutely ridiculous if you consider like other maps and how they balance their first areas. But yeah, strength potion, regen potions, and there's more over there. I would have not put that in like had I remade this map, because it's just way too overpowered for the first area. Like, now that I know what I'm doing in map making in CTM, when I'm making blitz, I'm actually like I know how to balance loots now thanks to this map. Yeah, this map was the best possible map to make as a first map, because I made the important errors to make when you start building in CTM. And this is a cave spider spawner that I put in to encourage the player to go towards the middle and towards the raiders spawner, so that they can't just, you know, like sneak around the side and then lower the bridge over there by sneaking around. Well, they can, but it's encouraged to go towards the middle, basically. So that was the thought process behind that cave spider spawner. And yeah, that's Precarious Tower. That's yeah, the noobiest build like ever. Like in this whole area, just look at this. There's a big box. And well, most of my areas are actually like boxes like this, because I really didn't focus on aesthetics and I was lazy, and I just like hollowed out a boxed area to build stuff in as an initial like thing to do before building the area. I think I changed a bit later on in the map. I actually learned to not use box hollow areas to build areas, because that looks just terrible. And in Blitz, there are no boxed areas except for like intersections maybe. So yeah, don't worry about that. Alright, so next time we'll be tackling the freaking Water Temple, which is based on the Water Temple from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Well, it's not based on it as like in the area of the Water Temple. It's just kind of, the name is based on it, but it's an underwater area, so I decided to name it after everyone's favorite area in Ocarina of Time, the Water Temple. Yeah, the Water Temple, if you haven't played Ocarina of Time, is just, it takes forever, because you get lost over and over and over again, and it's just so hard to find the way through the temple. Like, in my opinion, it's the hardest dungeon in the game by far, because you just get lost and then you don't know where you are. So yeah, that's Precarious Tower and the free base and other things, I think. So see you next time for the frickin' Water Temple. I think it was, yeah, it was a change, something to do with... Is that a baby zombie? Oh my god, it's a chicken jockey! No way! I've already got a chicken jockey natural spawn, wow. That is ridiculously lucky. Okay, so, huh. That didn't even come from a spawn. That chicken jockey is a natural spawn, and it's geared. I got a geared chicken jockey in the second episode of this LP. Nice!